What's up, YouTube? Listen, today I got a comment on one of my posts the other day about the company Biller, Biller Logistics, Biller.us, whatever they want to call themselves. I made a video when I first started working for that company, and I said that, I basically was saying that I thought it was a pretty good company because I did think that at the time. I was talking about the type of money they told me I could make. They was promising me I think $2,500 a week, saying, "Oh yeah, our average driver makes $2,500 a week." And I kept telling, it's crazy because when I first started, before I even started the job, I kept saying to them, like, listen, if it's not $2,500, that's cool. I just want y'all to tell me what it is. Like, if it's $1,500 a week, that's cool. Like, you know what I mean? Because they telling me, yeah, I mean, it's based on the mileage, but most of the jobs that we get pay at least $2 and some change a mile, this, that, and the third. And we give our drivers 85%. They make it sound so wonderful. Like, they make it sound so good. They say they give you 85%. It's true, but it's not the only truth. I mean, that's what I'm saying. They tell you partial truths because, yeah, they give you 85% and they give you 15%, but they only really do lease purchase. And with them only doing lease purchase, there's a lot of other things that are going to come out of your paycheck. It's a lot of other stuff that's going to come out of your paycheck. They're going to pay you, charge you a rental fee for the flatbed and the flatbed kit, which is like the chains and the straps and all that different stuff. They're going to charge you a fee for that. They're going to charge you your truck payment, which is going to be $750 a week, which ultimately equals about what? $1,500, $3,000 a month. And another thing with that, like you can go somewhere like Lone Mountain, and at Lone Mountain, right now they have trucks for like $1,000, $1,200 maybe a month, $2,500, $3,000 down, and you can go haul for anybody. You don't gotta work for no specific company. So, me personally, I feel like lease purchase for the most part is a scam in itself. So if you're going to a company and they only do lease purchase, in my opinion, I don't think that would be, the best thing to do. It's to the point where I haven't been keeping up with this on the politics side of things, but I know they had a whole bill that got passed that was supposed to be changing the way that lease purchase is even done. I've been off the road for a little over a month, so I'm not 100% sure where they are with that. But yeah, man, lease purchase is just not really the way to go, if you ask me. A lot of people was telling me, oh, well, if your credit not right and this, that, and the third, lease purchase might be the way to go. And for some people, it may be. I feel like if you're going lease purchase, don't go lease purchase if you have a family at home. I'm not even saying don't go OTR if you have a family at home. Just don't go lease purchase if you have a family at home. Because if you're OTR and you're a company driver, you can work it out to where as though you can make it home every weekend or every other weekend, or, work 3 weeks straight and then spend a week at home, different stuff like that, and it'll make sense for you financially. When you're doing lease purchase, it's very hard to make that make sense. It's very hard to make that make sense. When you're doing lease purchase, it's going to make you feel like you just can't stop driving in order to make some money. Like, it's no possible way you're going to make money unless you just drive 7 days a week. And that gets old, it's not for everybody, man. I did over the road for a year straight. Not even a year straight. because I forgot I went to PFG for a few months, but I did over the road for close to a year. And like I said, honestly, I was doing better at company jobs than I was at lease purchase. When you're doing lease purchase, you may have your weeks where you make great money. I had those weeks where I brought in $2,500, stuff like that. But it's not going to be often because even like at a company like Biller, you got to make at least 7,500 that week. You got to gross about 7,500 just to see some real money. And in order to gross like 7,500, you got to do like either one like real long haul, almost from like California to New York or something like that. And then you might have to do another haul about like probably like from New York to maybe Virginia or Georgia or something like that. And with those two hauls, depending on how, depending on the weight and ultimately depending on how much they pay, two loads like that should be able to get you to about a 7,000, 7,500 gross for the week. Now, if you can do that, and that's only two runs a week, and if you can do that consistently every week, you may be able to make some money with a company like Biller. But another thing you have to consider is the fact that they do not have an escrow for maintenance. So anything maintenance wise, it's going to be on you. They do have a fintech program. And what the fintech program is basically, they will pay the maintenance fee for you up front, but you're going to pay them back with interest, a very high interest, might I add. And it really just isn't worth it when everything boils down to it. It isn't worth it. I left Biller over a month ago. Even after I left, it's not a walk away lease. And the crazy part about it is, although I did choose to walk away because I'm currently, I got a job with a company that has a contract with the post office. So I'm still working for a trucking company, but I'm actually hauling for the post office every night. I'm on my way to work now. Way easier. I'm home every night. But the thing is, I found this job before I really quit Biller. It was a situation where I came home for a few days. While I was home, the truck got towed. I informed them that my truck got towed and that I did not have the finances to get the truck out of the tow yard. Mind you, the truck didn't even get towed because I parked in a no parking zone or something like that. They just had to do construction where I was parked at, and they said they called the company multiple times, and the company never gave me this information. They never let me know that someone was calling them and asking for me to move my truck. So the truck ultimately gets towed. I let them know that, I haven't made any money in the past 2 weeks. I don't have the finances to get this truck out. They were asking me about the price, claiming that they were going to send me the money to pay for it. They were procrastinating. After like 3 or 4 days of them procrastinating, I started looking for new jobs. I found this job that I'm working now, where I do the routes for the post office. About 2 or 3 days after, I've already made up my mind that no matter what they say, I'm not going back over the road. They call my phone back and, randomly just tell me, hey, Robert, we've decided to terminate the contract that we have with you. Now, granted, they tell me that it's not a walkaway lease, so, technically they didn't expect me to terminate the contract. If I would have said I'm terminating the contract, they would have told me how I can't do that and this, that, and the third. But my truck gets towed. I tell you guys how much it costs for me to get it back, and then they tell me that they're terminating the contract. Now, granted, before that happened, I was kind of like over the company. Like, I just went home. 1 week, I didn't really make any money. So the next week, I just went home and I told them, like, I'll let y'all know when I'm ready to come back out, because I'm not just going to be over the road with no money in my pocket. It just doesn't make sense to me. Then I have kids. I don't even have no money to send home for my kids. So it's like, no, I'm going home. So I kind of probably became a hard driver to deal with after a while, but sometimes you're going to get to that point over the road. You're going to become hard to deal with, because a lot of these dispatchers are going to be hard to deal with, and sometimes you feel like the only response to how they're acting is to, just say, F it. F it. Y'all guys treating me like anything. All right, whatever. I'm going home when I want. I'm going to move how I want. And, that's that. Now, I was very punctual when it came to getting my freight where it had to be on time. I wasn't late to appointments and stuff like that. So, like, because I know you probably maybe like, oh, well, they probably wanted to terminate you because you weren't getting the job done, or this, that, and the third. No, trust me. I was getting the job done. I got the job done at any company I worked for since I started trucking. Not saying I've never been late to an appointment. Of course, I've been late to an appointment. There's certain things that I can't control. That you're going to be late for an appointment here and there, but that it was never a problem. Like, I was never a problem for this company. Outside of the fact that I chose to become a problem when I said, you know what, I'm going home for a week, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that, outside of what they were expecting of me, because I got to that point because the company wasn't what I expected at all. They told me, I'd be able to choose my routes, I'd be able to do this, I'd be able to do that. It's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. All Biller is the flatbed division of Western Express. Western Express. All Biller is CRST. All Biller is super ego with a flatbed. Uh, it's it is what it is, man. Like, if you know anything about over the road, if you're just looking into Biller as a company that you want to come to, just stop looking, bro. Just stop looking. Like I said, all they do is lease purchase. All they really want to do is flatbed. If you ask them about reefer, they're going to lie to you and tell you that they don't do reefer anymore, but that's completely not true. But for some reason, they just want new drivers to do flatbed. So, yeah, Biller is trash. Like, Biller is trash. If you see my old video talking about Biller, don't believe me. Don't believe anything you hear on YouTube, man. You got to do your own research. But in my opinion, Biller is trash. Don't go there. Y'all, as always, stay in your lane. Keep it 100. You know what I mean? And I wish everybody the best, man. All right? Happy holidays. Y'all enjoy yourself out on that road, man. Take care of yourself.